Hello, Cancer. My name is Paul, and this is Dove and Serpent Tarot. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And if there is anything you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. And remember, Cancer, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here is, this is cool, this is the Knight of Cups. This is the Cancer energy in action. This is you kind of doing what you do best, right? That's really great. That's wonderful. I think we are, well, we kind of have to ring the bell because that's basically your power card, right? This is, we have the Chariot as the kind of typical archetype of the Cancer energy, but this is that Cancer energy activated, right, in practice. This is going to be something special. Let's put this into some context. Oh, we've got a Three of Wands, too. Oh, we've got some major arcana. Oh, we have a 9 and a 10 of Pentacles. This is really good. I feel like we're approaching our goals. We're fulfilling our desires. We're fulfilling our needs. We're getting what we want and need out of life, right? And if we can't find it, we are creating it, right? We've got that 3 of Wands. That is creation, okay? And then we do have a little bit of this water energy that we have to avoid. This is us kind of getting stuck in the mud as our chariot is flying through time and space, right? Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. And we're just going to set it right here. We'll put Mr. Ed right on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, so please stick around till the end of the video, because what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can all collectively predict that card, right? Using our intuition. Let's raise our vibrations up. Let's really connect with these images and see if we can begin discerning this mystery card together. It's kind of a new thing we're doing on the channel here. So I need your help, all right? But first, let's look around the room here. We have major, major, major. We have our Trinity of Major Arcana cards. The Trinity, which is a unity, which means spirit is in the building. Like you've got a lot of spiritual momentum here. And we also have the 3 of Wands, the Trinity, which is a unity. This is basically having a direct link to spirit, to source. It's coming in through creativity, through willpower, through consciousness, through awareness. Okay, so we've got a couple of fire cards. We've got some water energy, right? We've got the Cancer, the fire of water, the Knight of Cups here, and we have an 8 of Cups over there. We do have a little bit of air energy here, which is very balanced. This is good air energy. And then, of course, we have the Earth, right? So it's a very balanced reading. Now, with the Prince of Cups, you are in your element. You are finding it, or you will be, finding it very easy to express yourself, to express your emotions, to realize what your desires are, and go out and get them. Find them or create them, whatever you need to do, right? I think that you're very much in this kind of energy. This is what's coming up for you, I feel like. If you're not already experiencing it, you will be. And this is the not holding back how you feel, right? It's not, I think that's Cancer. See, I'm a solar Cancer. I think we might be prone to emotional outbursts sometimes, okay? It's not always going to work in our favor, but right now, I don't feel like this is an emotional outburst. I feel this is you with a consciousness, with an awareness of what you want and what you need, and we're going out and we're taking it, we're creating it, right? We're finding it. Our deepest desires, really, we are taking ownership of them, taking responsibility for them, and we are creating it, right? This is wonderful. Fire and water here in this card. Fire and water. So with the fire aspect, we've got that 3 of Wands, and this is it's a couple of things. It's the self-knowledge. So you have to know what your desires are. You have to know what you truly want. You have to know what you need filled in your life, right? What is the cup here? And this, back to the Knight of Cups for a second, this figure here is out there, yes, taking, right? You see they're receiving the gift from the divine. They're taking that energy. They're taking that gift. But is this card just taking, or are they also giving? Is there also an offering? We can't just take. We have to give back. If we're taking from source, from spirit, if we're receiving, right, we also have to be givers. Okay? So I think you're really stepping into this energy, and the more that you feel like you're empowered to pursue your goals, to fulfill your deepest spiritual desires, the more you're going to be kind of inspired to give to others, right? You know, when you're going through life and you're in a pretty good mood, you just kind of want to give that good mood to everybody, you know? And I like that. And I think we need to spread more positive energy around in our lives. So the more you feel internally, the more you're going to naturally want to share that. You know, let's spread the love around, right? But we have to have the fire energy, and this is the best kind of fire energy. This is the Trinity, that is a unity. This is basically like having an Ace of Wands available to you, up your sleeve kind of, as we're going to talk about the Magician next. We know ourselves well enough, right? But the 3 is also an understanding of the process of creation. You understand what it takes for you specifically to go out and create your life, to create your satisfaction, to create your achievements, to create your best life. We're going to be talking about this next too. We got a lot of good cards here today, a lot of good ones. We understand that we need our thinking, our feeling, and our doing to be in unison, to be in harmony, to be on the same page. Okay? And that's why we have the unity, which is split into a trinity. That's why there's 3, right? To show us that we need our heart, our mind, and our bodies under the same guidance, under the same umbrella, committed to the same goals. If one of these is out of whack, you're not going to accomplish what you set out to. If your body is not willing to participate, if your mind is not there, if your heart's not in it, it's not going to work. And this is the process of creation, right? This is you understanding how you will create your best life and what is required, what are the prerequisites here, right? So this is a very potent combination of cards here with the Knight and the 3 of Wands. And we said we were going to talk about the Magician, Mercury, the trickster, the juggler, the illusionist here behind you. This is perhaps, partially anyway, I'm feeling like we weren't always clear about what our desires were. That maybe we were performing, right? You know what I mean? We might have been living a life, working in a career, or being interested in things our friends were interested in, or, pursuing goals in life that weren't really us, We were committed to things. We were very concentrated. We were very skilled at these things. But I think maybe we're realizing that they weren't all for us, that they weren't all expressions of our authentic self, right? So with the Mercury energy, and you'll have to excuse my daughter. My daughter she started preschool recently. And today is a preschool day. Sometimes she gets a little nervous before we have to take her to preschool, so you might be hearing her expressing her feelings upstairs. Anyway, my wife is up there to comfort her and to get her prepared while Daddy does his tarot readings. So the magician back here, this is kind of, there are two sides to the magician, right? We have the ability to create what we commit ourselves to, right? We could put on the best show that you could imagine. But the magician has to be careful of what influence it receives. Okay? It's almost as if this card is the lens, the kind of almost the magnifying glass. You know, when the sun shines through the magnifying glass, you get that spotlight of solar energy that, you know, when you were a kid, maybe you were trying to like burn sticks or leaves or something with. I feel like everybody had a little bit of a pyromania phase when they were little. Anyway, the magician is kind of like that. It really depends on what that sun is behind it, because its main ability is to take all of that sunlight and focus it into a little laser point, right? That could either be used to start a nice fire to keep us warm, or it could burn things down. Fire's dangerous, okay? We shouldn't play with fire. But that's our ability here. And I think that for you, it's very important because we're Cancers, because of our, nature. It's important for us to realize what we're committing to, okay? What is the sun that is behind us shining through our minds, our soul, our spirit, that we are then laser focusing on? We are concentrating that light, but where is that light coming from? Is that from your deepest, truest self, God, Goddess, deity? Or is it coming from somewhere else, right? I think Cancers are prone to perhaps have some diffuse ego boundaries, right? And the magician is very much like that, because Mercury, Hermes, is the messenger, right? Carries the message, doesn't write the message, doesn't write the note. Might sometimes play a joke and substitute a couple of words here and there, or change the, put in what they call it, an Oxford comma here and there. But doesn't really write the message, is not the originator of the message. And that's very important, because what we commit, just because we have the ability to commit and to adapt and to focus and to really excel at something, doesn't mean that it's really for us, okay? So I'm not saying that what you're doing is not for you, but because this card is behind you, I feel like we're realizing what is for us. And we're understanding that we have this power to concentrate the sun that is behind us, but let's be sure of what the source is, okay? I don't mean to stick too long on, and I don't mean to bag on Mercury here. I love this energy. And when we get the Magician card, we have to do an I Ching card. That's kind of an unspoken rule on the channel. When we get the Fool, the Magus, the Hierophant, or the Hermit, we do an I Ching card. Or, if there's only one major arcana on the table, we do an I Ching card. Well, we have 3 today, but one of those is the Magician. So we must do an I Ching card. 27. Nourishment. I think that's perfect. Constancy brings good fortune. See the jaws. Your own quest for something real to fill your mouth. See, 27. Nourishment. What are we feeding ourselves with, right? What is the sun behind us that we are focusing and concentrating, right? It says this hexagram is called Jaws and refers not to the movie, which great movie, to all that gives you nourishment, physical, social, emotional, intellectual, spiritual. It is all creating and recreating an individual ecosystem to sustain and shape you. Assess how you habitually nourish yourself and others. Honor it all. What would nourish you? How is your hunger motivating you? And if you accept this as nourishment, who will you become? And that is precisely what we're talking about with this magician Mercury energy, right? What is the food that we are being given? Because we are what we eat, right? We are what inspires us. We are what we absorb, and then that's what we transmit, right? You are the company you keep, that sort of thing. And there's all sorts of sayings about that. So that's very, very important. And I think we're moving away from that, and that's why this is behind us. Because you're realizing that your deepest, truest desires are what you will commit to with this Mercury energy. And Mercury now is going to come along for the ride because you have that skill to focus and concentrate and excel at things. But we have to know what is our truest, deepest desires. Now, we said we were going to talk about the Ten of Pentacles, so let's do that now. This is in the future position. This is what you are kind of flying toward. And this is the picture of your best life, right? If I ask you right now to draw a picture, get out a sheet of paper, right? Get out a pencil or a pen or crayon. Draw your best life. Draw a picture, stick figures, whatever. What does your best life look like, right? We've asked this question before. And the question that we need to also ask is, after you draw this picture, look at it. Did you draw yourself in there? Did you draw yourself? Because this has to be an image, a postcard from the future. This has to be a representation, almost a talisman, of your best life. Because that is what Mercury is going to help you to manifest. But is this your best life? Are you drawing somebody else's best life? Are you drawing what you expect or what you think or what other people tell us is our best life? This has to be your, authentically your best life. Okay? So as many times as we need to revise this, as we gain more and more knowledge of ourselves and what we truly want, what we truly feel, you know, the Three of Wands has this idea of passionate energy too. So you may be exceptionally skilled at something, but that doesn't mean that you really feel deep down in your soul the passion and the joy and the love of doing it, the inspiration, right? Maybe what you really feel inspired to do, you're not very good at, right? So what do we do? What do we do? Well, that's why we have this art or temperance card down here at the bottom. It's underneath everything. This is us experimenting. This is us saying, look, if you feel that passion about something, try it out. Try it out. If you're not that good at it, invoke that Mercury energy. Focus your life on it. Focus all of that, the sunlight behind you, onto that thing. You know, they say it takes, 10,000 hours to master something. Well, if you have the passion within you to commit to anything for 10,000 hours, well, I think you're in pretty good shape. Now, we could force ourselves to commit to something, but if 10,000 hours go by and you still feel that joy and that love of, it's like when I get behind a drum kit or something. I don't care that I'm not very good. It's so joyful. It's so blissful. It's so fun. And yes, I still need about 9,999 hours of practice. But it has that feeling behind it, you know? And we have to experiment until we find that, right? And if it's not for you, it's not for you. We need the honesty to accept that and move on, right? There are plenty of things that we can feel the passion about. It doesn't mean that we have to devote the 10,000 hours to it, or whatever they say to it. Maybe it's 1,000 hours. I don't know. Maybe 10,000 is too many. I could be thinking of the Tool album, but that I have that wrong too. I'm just off today. The 9. This is up above everything. This is you recognizing that it is going to be a lot of work to fulfill your deepest, truest desires. It's not just the passion. They say it's 1% talent, 99% luck, or maybe practice. I don't know. But this is the idea that it is going to be a lot of work. It's not just an instant gratification here. That your deepest desires We have to work towards creating that fulfillment. But we have this 9 of Pentacles, which is measurable success. This is you able to kind of mark the milestones for you to see, oh, I'm getting better. I'm getting faster. I'm getting closer to the goal. This postcard is coming closer and closer to being fully realized. And yes, it's a 9, so it's an active function card. And it might indicate that there is some revision as we go. We have to be willing to erase and draw in something different on the fly. Yeah. But I think that's what you're kind of looking for, is the visible signs of progress. You're looking for a confirmation from just from the world around you, right? This is Venus in Virgo. This is kind of like seeing some affirmations, seeing some confirmations, some good signs around you, right? Some positive omens, some synchronicity perhaps. But more than synchronicity, this is going to be, my work has been confirmed because I see that I'm getting better. I see that I'm getting closer to my goal. Things are improving. We're moving forward here. That doesn't mean there won't be setbacks, though. Okay, and I think we get a little bit of this over here as we shift to the path of the serpent. We start with this 4. Okay, the 4 of Swords is telling me that you might have an increasing need to kind of weed out negative relationships in your life. Okay, I think that because of the intensity of this work that you're entering into, we're going to need to make sure that our relationships with other people are calm, at least, right? We have to try to get rid of any conflicts that are currently lingering in our life, right? Because I feel like they're kind of an invasion on your privacy right now. They're penetrating your circle, your magic circle, right? Your aura. And we don't want that right now because we're really open, right? We're open and we're vulnerable because we're doing this work. We're trying to get to that energy. So there's no room for negative interactions, conflicts, any existing friction between you and your family, you and your friends. Either call a truce, which is the key word for this 4 of Swords, or try to resolve those, right? Whatever you have to do to shore up your magic circle so that negative energy doesn't get in while we're doing this central core work, okay? And I think this is also talking about maybe a deeper need for privacy right now. Because I think for Cancer, it's in your home, in your shell, in your sanctuary, where you do the most intense self-work, spiritual work, that deep, deep work, right? I don't think you can, but I don't think you prefer to do that while you have too much going on interpersonally, right? So this might be an increasing need for some privacy here, okay? Now we have the Knight of Wands here. This is fire on fire. This is a little bit too much here. This is kind of the fire energy in the middle of the path of the dove gone a little haywire, right? Gone a little rogue, this fire energy. And this might be, it's kind of overzealous, this card. This is the tendency to get kind of carried away. But this card's in your environment, okay? So what I think that this is talking about is part of this 4 of Swords. Let's try to focus on the quality of our relationships with friends, family, co-workers, right? Let's not get too carried away in our enthusiasm, right? Because, again, with what I said earlier, we start to feel this love and joy and happiness and excitement, and we want to share it and we want to spread it around, right? But let's be careful not to give away the farm, right? So I think we should focus on acting kind of locally, keeping our defense, keeping our circle fortified, right? While at the same time focusing on the quality of the relationships that we currently have. Let's nurture those, right? Rather than letting this fire energy just kind of spread like wildfire and leave us kind of depleted, back at the starting line. So this is very, very careful energy with the Knight of Wands here. Now, what we're trying to avoid, this is the position of what we do not want, and this is the Eight of Cups. This is kind of the opposite of everything we've been talking about. This is a lack of interest in anything. And this is you feeling like nothing is satisfying, nothing is for you, that you're not good at anything, that there is no talent here, right? That there is nothing that you feel that passionately about. And we might get stuck here sometimes. This is a kind of common Cancer energy, I feel. I've been here. How many of you have never been here? We need to watch out for this. If this wasn't on the table, we wouldn't be thinking about it, right? And I think being forewarned is being forearmed. So if we know that we kind of have the potential to meet with this kind of energy, then we can be on the lookout for it to try to avoid it. And this might be something that pokes its head up when we have to do those 10,000 hours of something, and we're doing all this work, and maybe we can't quite see the visible signs of progress yet, and so we're thinking, I'm just not good at this. Maybe this isn't meant for me. The passion that we once felt, maybe we don't feel it anymore, and that's okay. That's okay, because remember, with the Art or Temperance card, we're doing different things. We're experimenting. We're seeing what we're drawn to, and we're not inhibiting ourselves. That's the problem here. We are feeling drawn to something, and we're exploring it. We're not being self-conscious. We're not listening to people tell us, why do you want to do that, right? Or, hey, you won't be any good at that. We don't want that, and we don't have that kind of air energy here, thankfully. Right? That's another reason why we have to fortify our circle here and focus on the quality of our relationships so that we don't let in that energy that leads us to doubt, that leads us to a diminished passion or interest, right? This is us doing something and feeling like all of the love is just being sucked out of it, being drained away, that our cup has a large crack in it and all of that love is just draining, right? We want to avoid this. This is in the position of what we don't want. So the card after that, of course, is the Libra, justice or adjustment energy. This is some very good cardinal air energy, just like we have the cardinal fire energy or water energy, right? The fire of water here. This is the fire of air. And it's an archetype. This is kind of what we are hoping to achieve. This is the archetype, I think, that's coming next for us that we want to activate. And this is us with absolute certainty of who we are. We've got our Ace of Swords right there in the middle. And we're using it to judge. The point is facing downward. We're holding the sword facing down, or pointing down. Because we are splitting everything up. We are taking any situation, we're breaking it down into its individual components, its individual impressions, and we're weighing that against our heart, against our truth, against our spirit, against maybe our cups, right? Our Ace of Cups, perhaps, which, we don't have a lot of water here. The water that we do have, I think this is our Ace of Cups up here, that we are both receiving, we're gaining that, and then we're also sharing it. We're trying to spread that love, right? But we're being careful, right? Four of Swords. But what we're aspiring to is the activation of this ability to know ourselves as well as possible. I won't say absolutely, but to have our Ace of Swords, to know what we're all about, and every situation that arises, every thought we have, every opportunity before us, we have the ability to dissect it and analyze each part, weigh each part against our core values, our spirit, our Ace of Cups, and judge it, make a decision about it. You know, everybody talks this kind of non-judgmental attitude and tolerance and acceptance. Yes, we need that. We don't want to judge people. I don't want to just meet somebody and automatically have a judgment about them. The more I get to know somebody, I can judge what I know or what I think I know, the impressions that I get from them. I can weigh those against my Ace of Cups, my heart, my beliefs, my core values, who I am, what I believe about myself, and see what comes out, right? We do need to be discerning. We do need to be, we do need to judge. We need to value things. We need to understand if something has value for our work or if it does not. And just because it does not, it doesn't mean that there's anything inherently wrong with that. It's just not for us, right? So I think we're aspiring to kind of know how to do that work. That's why we have the Libra energy here at the very end of the path of the Serpent. But we have to do the work to get there, where we can weigh everything in our lives against our central truth, against our heart. This reminds me, not so much in the imagery, but it reminds me of the Egyptian weighing of the heart. You know, all of the thoughts, words, and deeds get weighed against the feather of Mot, the truth, right? So we have a kind of a balancing of head and heart here too. And we also have balance in the Art or Temperance card. This is a lot about head and heart kind of being in balance. And I think the Libra energy is very much about that, right? Can we pause at any moment and use this sword to dissect our own life and ask ourselves right now at this moment, are we living according to our heart? Is the head and the heart, are they in balance? Right? And we're talking about that, I think, quite a bit in this reading already. Are the things that I'm doing, thinking and creating, how do they weigh against what I know to be my heart, my core, my Ace of Cups, right? My spirit? And I think we need to do that. Now, this is not your typical kind of, being judgy kind of thing. This is a real honest assessment of what we're doing, what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and whether or not it is in harmony with who we are, what we are, on the deepest level that we can penetrate to at this moment. And hopefully as we go through this process, we'll learn more and more about ourselves. Let's do the mystery card now. I'm curious what Mr. Ed will reveal to us. Thank you, Mr. Ed. This is the point of the reading where I will ask you all to connect with these cards and with these energies. Let's try to raise our vibrations. Let's try to discern this mystery card together. Okay? I'll give you a moment of stillness so you can put your final answers in. Well, I think I know. I think it's going to be that Ace of Cups that we've been talking about. Right? That's what I'm feeling. We need a closer look at that cup there, kind of as representing our heart, but also spirit, right? And the source of happiness, the source of our fulfillment. Finding that deepest level of ourselves, finding the source of our love and joy and beauty and happiness, right? fulfilling our deepest desires, understanding that we are responsible for that, right? That if we can't find it, we create it. My wife told me that yesterday. I think she said it was from a song or something. It's a song lyric or something. Let's see. Yeah, well, of course. It couldn't be anything else but this Ace of Cups. This is what we are receiving. This is what we are giving out. This is the source of it all. This really, it all comes down to this. It's all love. And if we can get to that Ace of Cups, and it's going to be different for everybody, you know, God, Goddess, deity, spirit, the energy, source, whatever you want to call it, I feel like it is, on some level, it is the same for all of us, right? We're all connected on that absolutely fundamental, before creation kind of level, the kind of absolute, unmanifested reality. But in practice, in life, in manifestation, this is absolutely different for everybody. I don't care if you're identical twins living the exact same life. This Ace of Cups is going to be at least a little bit different for everybody. It's unique. It's like a snowflake, like a fingerprint, right? So I think this is a wonderful confirmation card. And this is telling me that we are going to we're going to continue working deeper and deeper and deeper into ourselves to get closer and closer to our own Ace of Cups, which is our own true self, our own deepest self and our deepest desires. Right? You're not looking for anybody else's Ace of Cups. You're not trying to take somebody else's desires for your own. There's going to be some overlap, of course. But we have to make sure, and that's where this Libra energy comes in, the Justice or Adjustment card. We have to know and continually ask ourselves the question, is what I'm doing really based on what I am and what I want and what I feel in my deepest self? Or did something else get in and there's a foreign body in here, right? Some kind of outside energy that's come in. So it's about living and fulfilling our own essential self, essential desires, the essence of you. Yeah. Wonderful confirmation. I'm very, very happy with that. We're going to do an extended, I know this reading went a little bit long, click up here or down there. In the video description, there are links to the extended readings. New Cancer readings every Tuesday and Saturday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Okay? I want to thank you for watching this reading all the way through until the end. Really helps out the algorithm. That's good for the channel. That's good for you. That's good for everybody. I want you to remember, Cancer, that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we are all in this together.